We're back in David's stable, and we're going to take a little walk through here and have a chat about science and technology and horse racing and how you got involved with that, and do you use it in Hong Kong? And if you do, what are you looking at achieving doing that?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, absolutely do use it in Hong Kong. Kieran, you know, it was very much his idea, you know, fairly traditional, and, you know, took a little bit of time for me to like really embrace it. But, you know, he's absolutely right. You know, we're in a sport which is millions of dollars and small margins. And we do everything we can to get the best out of a horse. And, you know, sports science is being used by the Premier League, AFL, every other sport, F1, you name it. And racing's a little bit further behind. But, you know, it's, in a way, it all just makes perfect sense. You know, we're training an athlete to get them to a level of fitness, you know, for them to perform. And ultimately, it is about fitness, not necessarily having them, you know, 100% fit. You can overtrain.
Right.
But, you know, if we can actually see a horse's recovery, not just from how much they're blowing post-gallop. So they have a device on their girth, which measures their heart rate and obviously then recovery, their stride length, and their stride frequency. So you're looking for change, really. You know, you can't collect one piece of data off a horse and make informed decisions about that.
Right.
You know, when you're building a horse's fitness up, you keep the training nice and smooth, and you want to see that that is smooth, that the data and the recovery is smooth with it. So, you know, naturally you're upping their workload gradually each week, and they'll have a stronger gallop a couple of times a week. So their recovery isn't always going to be the same, because you've got to test the horse. It would be very easy to have good recovery all the time, but you know, you've got to push that barrier. But where it helps dramatically is we feel is that you want to see that not just be sharp, and certainly if a horse's recovery regresses, then it just makes you then look at why that is.
Right. And do you do that through bloods or through?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I think the first thing you would do is check their action. So you obviously trot the horses up regularly, and then see their stride length, you know, on the data, and that may have shortened, and there'll be a reason for that. And then if you don't find anything there, then yeah, health is obviously key. So, you know, I take a blood pre-race with every runner to make sure that everything's okay. And you've got to interpret those correctly as well. Sometimes can sort of lead you down a garden path the wrong way. And the same with recovery as well. A horse's recovery may change depending on, you know, where they've trained, the condition of the track, the weather, the rider. Very often, you know, may actually mean that a horse's heart rate jumps up quickly. They might have got a bit of a fright. So you need to be open-minded. But it's an extremely good guide for a horse and for us. You know, if you're happy with how a horse is training and, you know, the data backs that up, it gives you that certain confidence going into a race.
So do you use that on all of your horses? Do you use it on some of your horses?
They all wear it for fast work and trials. Yeah, so all fast work and all trials, they'll wear the device. And
did you have to get that approved and bring it into Hong Kong? Was that part? That must have been a process.
It was the company that we use, Arionio, was already here. So there are other trainers using it. It's not just me. I suppose I've just really got the confidence that it works. We've been using it for 4 or 5 years in Australia with a number of runners. So the more runners you can have, the more data you've got.
Exactly.
The more trends you can see. So I think where it's most useful is not doing too much too soon in a horse's preparation up into a trial or a race, and also seeing if they've trained off. And needing a bit of time. You know, very often outwardly we might be happy with the horse, and you know, in a place where horses race quite regularly, being able to assess their recovery is really useful.
That's fantastic. I didn't realize that it was actually a few trainers using it. I thought that you were just the one that was using it here.
Yeah,
so
no, I know a few are for sure.
a few of them are using them. That's fantastic. Well done bringing that into more, like making it more of a forefront thing, because like you said, I mean, athletes all over the world are using all kinds of devices to keep track of their fitness level. I mean, we just do it on a day-to-day basis on a watch,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
So why not use it on
the amount
on
of people
horses?
that are not athletes,
Yeah.
but might be, recreational runners, or wear a Whoop or a Garmin or whatever
Absolutely,
it may be. And
because it keeps track of your heart, your sleep, your recovery, all of that stuff. So it makes total sense. So the total number of horses you have now, how many?
There's 40 here and 25 in Chung Fa, so I've got 65.
65, that's, congratulations.
And,
that's
a few more to come from overseas, so
that's
looking forward to
fantastic.
that. Arrive. Yeah, I think it'll be like middle of the season, just might be a little bit slow just with the new horses. Still acclimatizing and getting ready and hoping for a sort of strong finish. Hopefully the horses that are racing well can hold their form, and obviously the handicapper will catch up with them at some stage.
Absolutely. Hong Kong is famous for that.
Which is the game. But I think there's certainly a few there that have still got some wins in them with a bit of luck.
Well, yeah, you just need the luck and you need the draws,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
I mean, that's so much of Hong Kong racing. If the draws are no good, it's just
Yeah.
you go out there and you go, well, now we're riding for luck, right?
Yeah.
Really, at the end of the day.
That's right.
So you want to stop at one of your horses and just tell us a little bit about them? Where
Yeah,
they're from?
sure. Well, let's talk about him. Yeah,
Okay.
it's horse one on debut. So this is Silvery Breeze, who actually won his first start in Hong Kong Class 3 over 1400.
Wasn't that the 70 to 1?
It was, yeah.
70 to 1 minute that I missed?
Luckily, a few people backed him, but he's probably a good example of a horse who in Hong Kong he'd settled in great. His work was good, but he was just struggling to actually keep up in the trials.
Okay.
The trials are ran at a very frenetic pace, sometimes quicker than the actual races, and he doesn't love the dirt. But he was training great on turf, and I was, galloping on the grass and was really happy with him. So, albeit you couldn't possibly go there with confidence because he hadn't actually beaten a horse home in a trial. So, but things really worked out for him. He drew one. He slid up the fence. They didn't go quick. So it was just one of those perfect storms, and got to run up the rail, and Karis didn't pass another. To have to go round another horse. So, but he's. Albeit he had luck, I don't think it was any fluke. He's a nice horse, and
He certainly looks a nice type.
yeah, he's a beautiful looking horse.
And has he recovered well?
He has, yeah. He had a trial this morning. He trialled nicely, a run on the 15th. I'm not saying he's a Derby contender, but that's his makeup. He's bred to stay.
That's your target, though?
He's bred to stay.
Right.
And if he can win another race from now until, say, June or early February, then we'll certainly be sort of all rose to that.
It's fantastic. He's got a beautiful eye on him. He's just got a lovely head.
Plenty of scope, and happy horse.
That's fantastic. Well, that's great, David. We're wishing you a lot of success here, and I'm glad your family's here to support you over the next week to 10 days, and that your brother's coming. I would love to meet him off camera as well. And,
well, you'll see him tomorrow.
Yeah, but just thank you for having us in here and taking the time to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
No, pleasure.
Give me a hug. Take care.
Thank you very much.
No,
Hopefully we can get a few more wins.
No, absolutely. Just keep
Casper
going.
as well.
Just keep going. Yeah, Casper as well. Yes.
He's not easy to beat.
No, well, he's not. Yeah, when he's in form, look out. But I think it's great. I think that as long as there's this camaraderie and people are, because it's the sport, right? I mean, it is what it is. There's going to be good days and bad days, and some of us win and some lose. But as long as we can all keep it together, I think that's really important.
That's right.
Thank you so much.